Google Stitch recently received a new update, and everyone is hyping it as the next big thing in the field of UI/UX. Some are even claiming that it could replace Figma. However, is that really true? In today's video, I will explore this new version of Stitch and share my honest opinion about it. As you can see, after opening it, the interface looks similar to most regular AI app tools. We have the chat section here, along with a plus icon that allows us to add screenshots, sketches, or visual references to create our website or app. Here, you can choose whether you want to create a mobile app or a web application. I will keep it mobile app. Next, we have the option to choose a design system. You can select from existing ones or let Stitch decide. After that, we can choose the AI model we want to use to build our UI design. You can see options such as Gemini 3 Flash and Gemini 3.1 Pro. There is also an option to redesign using Nano Banana, along with an ideate option. You can use the 3.1 Pro model for higher quality results, although it may take more time. Next, there is the live mode, where you can interact with the AI in real time and instruct it on the design you want to create. It will generate the design accordingly. You can also see some sample prompts here if you are unsure what to generate. We also have some pre-built web designs on the left. For now, I have prepared a prompt. I will enter it here to build a simple finance tracking app and then press enter. The AI will now begin working on our UI design. On the left-hand side, you can see what the AI is building in the form of text. Here we have a text box available to make changes to the design once it is ready. You can see that Stitch has prepared a design system, but this is just the beginning. We cannot judge the final output based solely on this system. It shows some colors, font styles, and icons, but we will evaluate the design once it is fully generated. You can see our UI design is ready. My first impression is that it falls into the intermediate range. It does not look basic, but it is not highly professional either, as I can spot a few issues immediately. For example, if I zoom in, there is a logo on one design page, but the same logo is missing on the next page. Overall, the design looks decent, but if you look closely, you will find minor inconsistencies here and there.
Now let us explore some other options. The first is the Select tool, which is enabled by default. Next is the Mark tool. When you select it, you can highlight a specific element and provide an AI prompt so that only that particular element is modified. There are also some sample prompts available here. Then we have the Direct Edit tool. Once selected, you can manually edit specific sections of the design. For example, if I want to edit a particular section, I can choose between manual editing and editing with AI. Let me try manual editing first. I will remove the word record from this section, and you can see that it looks better. Now let us try editing another element using AI. I will select it, click on Edit with AI, and then provide the instruction to remove the word record. After waiting for a moment, you can see that the AI did not make the expected change. In this case, the AI failed to apply the modification, so I will manually edit it instead, just as I did previously. Moving on to the next option, you can see a hand-like icon, which is the Pan tool. By selecting it, you can move around the canvas, although this can also be done using standard mouse and keyboard controls. Next, there is an option to upload files to the canvas if you want to add reference materials. We also have the Design System panel, where you can view the colors, fonts, and other elements used in your project. You can switch between light mode and dark mode, although since we have not created a dark version, nothing appears there yet. There is also a .md file available. Next option allows you to add the design to your favorites. This is useful when you have multiple designs and want to revisit specific ones later. These are the main options available on the right-hand side. Now let us look at the options at the top. The first option is Generate, where we can create an instant prototype. Next is Variations, which allows us to generate multiple versions of the design. You can choose how many variations you want, define the creative range, and decide whether you want to refine, explore, or completely reimagine the design. You can also provide custom instructions and specify which aspects should be modified. Then we have the Regenerate option, which recreates the entire design. There is also a Desktop Web option, which generates a desktop version of the current mobile design. Another feature is the Predictive Heat Map. When you click on it, the AI analyzes your design and generates a heat map. For those unfamiliar with heat maps in UI design, they indicate where users are most likely to interact. Red areas represent high interaction, while green areas indicate lower interaction. This helps you understand which parts of your UI attract the most attention.
Now, let us look at one of the most important features, creating a prototype. It is important to select all relevant pages before generating a prototype. If you miss any, they will not be included in the final version. As you can see, when I interact with different sections, some do not respond because there are no linked designs behind them. However, other elements do function correctly and navigate between pages. You can also type in input fields like the search bar, and the AI has intelligently connected some interactions.
As more pages and elements are added, the prototype will become more complete. If you want to share your design, you can do so by clicking on the Share option and enabling sharing and remixing. However, keep in mind that this will make your project public and allow anyone with the link to view and remix your designs and code. If you prefer to keep it private, you can simply leave this option disabled. There are also additional options under the Modify menu, such as Edit, Annotate, and Design System, which we have already explored, except Annotate, and it is self-explanatory. The Preview option allows you to open your design in a new tab. Under the More menu, you will find options like View Code, Copy to Figma, Export, and Download. Currently, the View Code feature shows Coming Soon, indicating that it is still under development. The Export option provides multiple formats, including AI Studio, Figma, Zip, MCP, and Instant Prototypes. There is also a separate button for exporting prototypes. In the Profile section, you can access additional settings, including your daily credits and daily redesign credits. At the moment, this tool is free, so it is a good idea to make the most of the available credits. There are a few more settings that you can explore on your own. So far, we have built a mobile app. Now, let us try creating a web app. Since we have already explored most features, I will enter a simple prompt. Create a portfolio website that offers various freelancing services, and press Enter. As before, after waiting for some time, the design is generated. This time, the result looks much better than the mobile version. It appears more professional and clean, with multiple pages following a consistent color scheme. I personally prefer this design over the previous one. Let us quickly create a prototype for this as well. You can see an error has appeared because no pages were selected. After selecting all pages and clicking on Instant Prototype, the system generates it successfully. Now, when I interact with the buttons, they navigate between different pages. You can also open the prototype in a new tab. Overall, it looks quite decent. You can even check mobile or tablet previews of the same design. In conclusion, Google Stitch does a fairly good job of generating UI designs. The results are not overly basic, but they are not highly professional either. The output feels similar to the work of someone with some experience in UI design, but not at an expert level. There are minor mistakes, and the prototypes are still quite basic, serving more as a starting point or reference rather than a finished product. We also did not provide any reference materials in our prompts, and I believe the results would improve further with better inputs. At its current stage, Google Stitch performs like a beginner to intermediate UI designer. It understands fundamental concepts and produces decent designs, but it is not yet refined. However, since the tool is currently free, it is definitely worth trying. You can use it to quickly generate ideas, build rough prototypes, and experiment with different concepts. Over time, it is likely to improve further, so it is a great opportunity to explore and make the most of it while it remains freely available. If you want a detailed step-by-step tutorial on how to build a website using AI, then you can check out this video right here. If you like this video, do drop a like and subscribe to my channel for more such helpful videos. Thanks for watching.